The reason why many Christians always backslide into sins. You are not above backslidden. It often amazed me how some Christians who always tagged themselves as holier than thou used to react whenever they heard about the horrific fallen or backsliding of their fellow Christians, probably due into fornication, adultery, stealing or secret sins of high levels. These sects of holier-than-thou Christians in the church often believe that they are above backslidden and also assume they are already in heaven. When someone backslides into sin while in the church, they will assemble together and start making mockery of such fallen soldier of Christ. They will never see the needs to encourage such fallen Christians but will rather glory in mockery and jubilation of the fallen of such individual in the church. Galatians 6:1 Brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such an one in the spirit of meekness, considering thyself, lest thou also be tempted. In most cases, whenever they heard that a fellow brother/sister had fallen into sin or backslidden, they will whisper in corners with below utterance. Yes, I said it, I have been monitoring Sister Agnes for a while now and definitely knew she will backslide into fornication. Moreover, I am not even surprised because she has backslidden for a long time. My beloved, the Lord shall judge and required her blood from your hand because you knew her spiritual states but refused to act immediately in restoring her back to faith but rather glory in gossiping. I can't believe that Brother David can do such a horrible thing. This brother of all people whom the church respected and someone to reckon with could easily falls into stealing. Wonders shall never cease. My beloved, your own fallen also awaits you because making mockery of someone is an evil act. Bro, have you heard that Pastor Cyril has been stepped down from pastoral works due to adultery? In fact, I am still amazed because he was a shadow to majority in the church. How can he attempt such a shameful act? My beloved, your fallen shall be greater and horrible than that pastor because Christian are Christ-like and not Christ gossipers. Hi sister, have you heard that Brother James the intercessor leader was caught in the act of stealing church money? He has been demoted and I just can't imagine what got over him. If you are involved in this act of church gossiping, your disgrace also awaits you. This world is turning something else. Can you imagine Brother Daniel the campus youth leader has confessed that he was involved in masturbation? A whole Brother Dan we all respected and honored could just fall as a prey. I don't think I'm ever going to trust any of these leaders again. If you are involved in this terrible act of backbiting of your fellow Christian, when you falls none shall restore you back to faith, then you will understand that you're not an angel. I have keenly observed that it's only Christians who abandon their wounded soldier. Today Christianity has become a laughing stock even among the heathen. There is high tendency of lack of love and caring within the Christendom. You will behold a brother in the church who is struggling for a survival and instead to sort out how to liberate him, but instead the pastor and her members will be busy dragging church leadership posts and accumulating unnecessary church levies and contributions. They will focus their attention on how to renovate the church building with unnecessary constructions while the poor and needy kept sinking into poverty, and when he finally backslide he will become a shadow of mockery. You lazy shepherd and ignorant pastors in the church, your judgment awaits you unless you repent now and take proper consideration of the sheep that was handed over to you, because you are going to give account of those sheep at the last day. Colossians 4:17 And say to Archippus, take heed to the ministry which thou hast received in the Lord, that thou fulfill it. What can we infer about you, holier than thou Christian? Just because you can somersault while preaching and you assumed you have arrived. Just because you don't fornicate, masturbate, watch porns or entangles with immoralities which now prompt you to ridiculed and rejoiced over your fellow fallen soldier of Christ. However, Christianity is not how far but how well, because you are not above backslidden. Moreover, the reason why you still standing firm in faith is primarily due to prayers and probably because you're yet to behold true naked temptation, because when you does and eventual overcome you will acknowledge that is not by strength but rather by grace. No Christian is above backslidden. True life story. There was a beloved sister choir in the church whom a brother have been disturbing severally to have combined service sex together. Due to this constant troubles and unrestless phone calls from the brother, the sister deliberately decided to yield to the temptation. However, she was invited over to the brother house. After several toasting and entertainment segment, the brother pull off his clothes and ask the sister to undress herself for the combine service. But she replies, "Brother, have you covered the whole place?" The brother quickly closed the window and also shocks the door keyhole. He said, "Yes, I just did, so let carry on with the combine service, I have covered everywhere." The sister looked at him with tears on her eyes and said, "Brother, have you covered the eyes of the Lord? I once knew you as a fervent prayerful brother in the church, a leader and a preacher of the gospel. Just look at yourself. My dear, if you shall covered the eyes of the Lord, please look at my whole body, I shall voluntarily offer them to you free of charge." The young man was perplexed and totally dumbfounded. He also joined in the chorus of weeping and crying unto God for mercy and forgiveness. You can't say, "I don't commit fornication or adultery," not until you fall into such naked deeper temptation but refuse to yield. That is when you can boldly say, "Yes, I am not a fornicator." The reason why you will backslide: if you don't often fast and pray, neither create time to pray fervently every morning and night, but rather engulf with personal works, movies, social media chats, career pursuits, or zealous in evangelism in negligence of prayers, honestly, you're a prey, and in short while you will be grounded and certainly be feasted by a predator, because your soul can't prosper in neglects of praying and fasting, daily personal prayers and scriptures meditations. I mean, it's just a matter of time the predator of masturbation, fornication, adultery, sexual lusting, lies, hatred, envy, fear, worries, pride, contention and strives, etc., will devour and eat you up, because prayers is a necessity for a daily Christian survival, and you can't overpray but can underpray, and that is very dangerous to your spiritual life. The prayer you utter today will serve as an umbrella that will cover your spiritual virginity, and you must never cease from praying or assumed you have prayed too much. While asleep, there are thousands of demonic spell been enchanted upon you, which range from sexual lust, fear, pride, vainglory, lies, hatred, gossip, malice, unforgiveness, and without prayers, you will soon find yourself in ocean of regrets. How to overcome backslidden? Prayer is spiritual oxygen, and biologically you can't survive without prayer, because praying is like going to the big nose of God to breath. And any day you stop breathing from big nose of God, you will definitely runs into spiritual coma. How many times does a believer pray a day? The Muslim pray 5 times a day all their lives as a lifestyle. The Jews pray 3 times a day all their life as a lifestyle. They do it whether they are happy or not, whether they are under attack or not, whether they are blessed or not, whether they are sad or happy. They just do it because it's a lifestyle for total takeover of the earth forces and its foundation. But as a Christian, and all you do is to pray for 1 or 2 times and you thought you have made it? No. You ought to take prayer as a lifestyle and continuously abiding under it as your daily responsibility. Always praying in the morning and afternoon. Praying in the evening, praying in the night, and also praying at midnight. You must follow the 4 seasons and the 4 watches of the day, and the 4 watches of the night, and praying consistently. Praying must become your daily lifestyle, so you pray whether you feel like praying or not. You pray when you are broke. You pray when you are blessed. And you pray when you are down. You also pray when you are up, because prayer is a necessity for survival and for the maintenance of daily victory for the believer. And if you stop praying, you start sinning, and if you start sinning, you stop praying, because you can't uphold the 2 attitudes.